All right. Roommate phase update at the end.
Okay.
Hi, Chris and Peaches. Hello. I'm not going to say any names. I apologize in advance if this is long and too much information. I've heard you both say add as much detail as possible on your podcast. If this isn't enough info, please reach out. Feel free to cut anything out if it is unnecessary or too much. I love your podcast and just found it recently. My husband doesn't listen yet. Hoping he will, but I often talk to him about it. I hope he will, but I often talk to him about things from the podcast. I'm very behind on episodes. I'm on episode 6 currently. Oh, you're in for a whirlwind. I want to say a huge thank you. Just from listening to your podcast has made a huge difference in my marriage. Some details. My husband and I started dating in high school, and we were together for 7 years before getting married.
Okay, that's a hell of a foundation.
Mm-hmm. We are both now 25. We got married almost 2 years ago, and it is our first time truly living together. It has been a huge learning curve for us. I thought since I've stayed over at his house plenty of times and we had discussions of division of labor and our roles when we became husband and wife, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
You know that they say that people who don't live together before marriage are more successful in marriage?
Really?
Yep. Studies have shown that people who do not live together before they get married actually are better off long-term in their marriage. Like less divorce. Yep. It's a thing.
Why?
I don't know why.
Oh, I'm so curious.
I didn't see all the reasoning and shit. That's what the study said.
Huh. Okay. I mean, obviously that wasn't okay. Now, no, not obviously. You wouldn't even know. I can't ask you that. I'm thinking so much right now. Like, was that study done on people who knew each other for 6 months, or have they been dating for 3 years?
Right, but the amount of people who move in together within the first 6 months, because there's a necessity in that. Mm-hmm. With inflation and the devaluation of the dollar and what's going on with our government, a lot of people can't afford to live on their own.
Yeah.
So when two people mesh and the rose-colored glasses are on and life is amazing, that first 6 months, they're like, you're paying $2,000 a month and I'm paying $2,000 a month. We can live together and pay $1,000 each. Mm-hmm. Let's do that. And they do it out of necessity versus true foundation and commitment. So
don't do that if you have children, please.
Yeah.
Back into the email.
Yep.
I was wrong. About 3 years into dating, we hit a huge roommate phase and nearly broke up. He felt I wasn't pulling my weight, and I'll be honest, I wasn't. We had zero intimacy. My drive was incredibly low. At the time, we were both in college, and I was in the middle of my 4th year program to become a nurse. It was the hardest 4 years of my life. I was beyond stressed and depressed. We realized a lot of my low drive has to do with me being on birth control, but wasn't something we could change.
Pause. It is something you could change. You could start using condoms. But for those of you who don't know, we have a sponsorship with Matrix Hormones, and this is a great time to plug them. Matrix Hormones, when we did an interview with Ken and Sean, the owners of Matrix, they were very adamant about the issues that come with birth control and how quick people tend to get on them when they're young and how it fucks up their hormones long term. And that's a big problem. So for those of you who are ladies who have been on birth control for a while, I highly recommend that you get your blood levels checked through Matrix. If you go to their website, matrixhormones.com, click on the new patient form, fill out the new patient form. And when it asks who referred you, put in to be better. It's a drop-down menu. It'll save you $200 on your initial consultation with them. If you are a man and you're experiencing depression, sleeplessness, or overly tired, also get your blood levels checked. You never know what's going on inside of your body, and they might find things that you otherwise wouldn't know. Our friend Katie found out that she had cancer by getting blood work done.
Yep.
So it is very important that you guys do that, and to save that kind of money is a godsend. So $200 off, to be better, matrixhormones.com.
I even switched my birth control multiple times and no changes. During this time, my husband took care of me. I couldn't drive at the time, so he drove to work in my dorm if needed, and it was often. I was trying to learn to drive, and my mom and dad weren't teaching me no matter how much I asked. I tried to drive with his mom when she and I were both available. My husband, boyfriend at the time, was pretty much my sole supporter. He is the only reason I made it through. He has expressed during that time that he felt like a roommate or even a parent. If you ever feel that way, you tell me, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't allow that to happen.
Okay.
I would never want you to mother me. And I would never want to father you.
Right.
Right. So like if that's an intimacy killer all around.
Yeah.
And we hear it all the time from women who are like, I shouldn't have to mother him.
Then why are you?
Right. Right. This situation, he felt like he was fathering. It created a whole lot of tension between the two of them. People don't like that. You don't want to marry your parents.
Yeah. At that time, he was helping me out a lot financially. I was not great with money. My mom hadn't really taught me how to be responsible with my money or how to save.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the them helping you with money thing.
Yeah.
If he's got it and he's able to do it, I don't see a problem with it. If he didn't have it and he was spending all of his money trying to make sure you were staying afloat and he was struggling financially because of it, that would be a problem.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so, well, I'm hung up on there's not a problem with the financially. She said she wasn't good with money.
Right.
So if she's going out and spending $300 on a shopping spree and then goes, hey, babe, I need money for groceries this week.
Well, that's a different scenario.
Right. That's how I took I'm not good with money.
I was also thinking the fact that she was in school to become a nurse.
Yeah.
Like if she's working full time and going to school to be a nurse full time, like I can't imagine there's a whole lot of money to be thrown around there.
Yeah.
So
I think
either way,
been an
you're right in
elaboration.
that aspect. That's a problem if she's not good with money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I see your point of view, though. Going to nursing school does spread somebody thin.
Yeah. Well, our friend April in California is getting ready. She's like on like the 4th level of becoming a nurse.
Yeah.
She's getting ready to do like administrative shit, and she's about to finish her school this year. And every time I talk to her, I'm like, how's life? And she's like, I'm doing the school thing. I'm like, that's it? And she's like, yeah, I work in school and that's it. She's like, I have one person that I talk to outside of like my normal day-to-day interactions. It's consumed her.
Yeah.
So hearing that she was going through the worst aspect of her life during that 4 years, I fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Because I'm having conversations with people I've known for 30 years who's doing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good for April, though.
yeah, she's fucking killing it in life.
Like, she's going to get through this. I don't know how long it takes to go to school for 4th level nurse.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at least 10.
No, because she's already got other degrees. So it's not like I don't know what they're called, but you start off as like a CNA, right? That's the easy one to get. And then there's the next level, I think it's like an LPN, and then another one, and then another one. And once you get to that, like where she's going for now for administrators, she can write like prescriptions and shit for doctors. And
Okay.
I don't know. April's one of the few friends in life that has the business mindset like I have, that's always had it, but she's goal oriented. So she wants to do her licensing and business shit first to get her career going and then invest in business and like.
She's going to take off.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's super gangster.
Her next season of life is going to be so dope.
Yeah. Well, she's about to get a huge fucking raise when she gets this degree.
Whew.
So nursing shit's difficult though. I respect people that's willing to do that kind of schooling because you're putting yourself out, a decade of life realistically when you think about it, because it's one degree after another.
Yeah.
It is a lot of schooling. It's worth it though.
I've watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy.
That's funny.
I could never. Just hearing the way that a lot of nurses and doctors are talked to, like how people talk to them, takes a very strong-minded person
Yeah.
to continue wanting to care for people even though they're super nasty to you and are defamatory and all that. Like, different kind of soul. We need those souls.
What you doing?
Playing footsie. Was that cute for you?
It was funny.
Yes. That you didn't say it was cute, but I'll still accept that as a win. I thought it was cute.
It was the eye contact for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you caught on to what I was doing.
Oh, I know what you were doing.
Perfect. Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
After a huge fight, he decided he needed a break. Initially, it was supposed to be 3 months. It ended up being maybe a week in the middle of finals week. That week was hell. I had given him some space, but reached out because I was not willing to lose him. I wanted to change and make our relationship work. He made some stipulations and I agreed to them. I got in a better place financially, and I went to driving school and I got my driver's license. Ooh, look at that. She found solutions because of a catalyst.
Yep. Because she knew she was about to lose a good man.
Yep.
It's crazy how that plays out.
Right?
Oh, that's controlling. How dare him set boundaries like that? Look at the level up that came with it.
Right? It's a life standard.
Yep.
We agreed to make sure we didn't spend as much time together. What? We agreed to make sure we didn't spend as much time together.
Because they were trying to take a break.
Back then, I was very insecure and spent 90% of my time with him. He needed more space to himself to decompress because he was trying to decide if he was going to join the military. Oh, okay. We had a lot of changes during that time to lead to where we are now. Flash forward. She actually wrote it.
That's funny.
To today, we have been in a roommate phase again. I am a full-time nurse and he is full-time active duty Air Force. We got married right after he was overseas for a year. From being around each other most of the time to being completely separated for a year, then to living together, it was a shock.
I bet.
We had gotten engaged, eloped, added a puppy to our family, moved across the U.S., and both started new jobs in a matter of 2 weeks.
Wow.
What a whirlwind.
No
Holy
shit.
shit.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I feel like my hair is messy after going through that tunnel. Oh my gosh.
That was a lot.
There's so much energy in all of that.
Yeah.
Like, there's something happening every day and all of it's exciting.
Pure chaos.
Oh, man.
Yep. Pure chaos.
Our relationship tanked. Again, I had no drive. There was no intimacy or fun. I hated my job. I was overworked. I felt I was doing all the work in the home. I love being a traditional wife, but for how I handled stress at the time, it was too much, especially working full-time. I worked 12 hours getting yelled at by patients, come home depressed and stressed, cook dinner for us both, clean what I could of the house, and then expected to please my husband physically. Over time, I expressed I needed help. My husband did help, but it felt like it was never enough for me.
Why is that?
Right. Why? Because he helped. He stepped up. You reached out. He grabbed your hand and he pulled. So what was wrong? Because that's, if I'm hanging off a cliff and I'm like, babe, help, and you pull me up. Thank you.
Right.
There's no complaining about how I maybe scratched my knee climbing up because you didn't grab my elbow the right way. Like, thank you for helping me and saving my life.
I think that this comes down to the tank not being full and not taking the time to recharge, right? And even though she asked for help and he gave it, she still didn't do what she needed to do in terms of self-care and decompression to like balance that out. So
what was done in the time, because he stepped in and he helped? So what was that time being devoted to now?
Well, this is a really simple thing, right? When we have free time, we find things to fill that free time.
Right.
Most people don't do well with just sitting around.
Yeah, I feel like a lazy piece of shit.
Right. Because we're taught to go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Right? Hustle culture, whatever you want to call that. So when you have that, you're used to always doing these things, right? And like, let's say you never have time to scrub the baseboards. And now he's doing dishes. So while he's doing dishes, you're scrubbing baseboards.
Instead of taking a bath.
Right. That's where that comes from.
Yep.
So it wasn't enough.
Hurried woman syndrome.
Yeah. There's also a lack of communication there, and that there was still a whole lot of shit that needed to be done, and they weren't able to create a new, hey, let's get caught up and then we can go back to the way things were. Yeah.
I want to take a second and just go, like, there are multiple times throughout the month where both of us will stop doing what we're doing and just go like, hey, we're a power couple. Like, we're fucking doing it. We're doing the thing. Take pride in that. Like, he's in the Air Force. You're a nurse. You guys are doing massive things with your life. It sucks. Any job that brings a mental factor to it sucks.
Yeah. I can see the stress in that creating issues in sex life too.
Yeah.
That mental exhaustion's a bitch. Like, physically tired is one thing. Mentally tired is a whole different ballgame. So
I highly recommend any couple that struggles with like a low drive or a lack of desire, every night before you go to bed, just kiss each other for like 10 minutes.
Little makeout session.
And if it goes somewhere, dope. If it doesn't, you guys just had some intimacy before bed.
Sometimes it's enough too. Also, if you're dealing with the low things, get your hormones checked. MatrixHormones.com.
Matrix Hormones.
Plug.
Tell them To Be Better sent you.
Yep.
Why should they tell them that To Be Better sent them?
Because it'll save them $200 in their consultation.
That's groceries.
Yeah. You know that we went through like a weird depressive phase with me because I came off all my hormones while I was waiting, because the last company that I used would make me come off.
Right.
And they would not prescribe anything until I had new blood panels done to see where my blood panels were, even though we already knew that I was low.
Right.
And there was about 2 weeks there where you were like, this sucks. And I'm like, how do you think I feel? I'm fucking depressed. I have no energy. My sex drive is shit. Like, and it literally took one fucking appointment for them to get me back to normal. I stand by them. I know that there are people out there who may feel how they feel about hormones, but it's necessary
Propaganda.
for people. Yeah.
All right, moving on. I quit my job and got a new one as a postpartum nurse, which I love. I will be there for 2 years in March. We had many discussions about who would be responsible for what. With us both working full-time jobs, it wasn't reasonable for me to have a full-time job after my full-time nursing job. He did his designated tasks in the home often with a lot of reminding, which really frustrates me and still does.
Why?
I'm his wife, not his mother.
She wrote that?
She did. So that is your perspective. Gentle reminders really are not a big deal.
No, it's a big deal because society tells you that you shouldn't have to ask for those things.
Right.
Right? Because that's what you hear on the internet all the time. I shouldn't have to ask. Yeah, you fucking should. Because when it comes down to it, you don't know what he's going through.
Right.
And what you view as a really big deal, he may not see as a big deal.
Right.
You tell me every day the house is disgusting. I'm sorry I couldn't clean as much because we're so busy right now. It's not bad, babe. I can live like this. I'm good. If it was a big deal, I would jump in and help and like get us caught up if I thought you were really that far behind and needed the aid. Like, I'm good.
Okay.
So like, but should you need to remind me, like, babe, can you sweep today? Yeah, I got you. 2 hours goes by and I didn't sleep. Are you gonna get mad at me for not sleeping when you asked me to? Because I got other shit going on. It'll get done. And if I forget and it's 6 o'clock at night and we're winding down, be like, hey, did you sleep? Fuck. Nope. But I will. And I'm gonna jump up and sleep and get it done so that at 6:15 I can sit down.
Right.
Right? Like,
we actually have a real life example of this. So I do handle all of the household duties. That was something that was my stipulation because I have a standard to things. And when I'm on my A game, clean environment, right? Like mental space, clear, home space is clear. So when I do need help with something, hey babe, I need you to knock out the laundry for me today. And then maybe 2 hours go by. Hey babe, did you throw the laundry in? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to put it in the dryer now. Dope. Our dryer, we had to run it 2 cycles. I don't know why. We just do. And if I have not walked past the dryer, I'm out of the house. I'm like, hey babe, start the dryer for the second time. That's a real life thing that we do. I don't feel like I'm mothering my husband in that moment.
There's also real life situations where I still forget to start the dryer a second time and have to start laundry all over again.
Yeah.
Because just like you, I'm fucking busy during the daytime and I have a whole lot of other shit that needs my attention right now. And the laundry's really not that, it's like at like 17 on my list of priorities of shit that needs to get done.
Yeah. And if it's number 3 on mine, I
Right.
just need to knock it out.
Right. You guys need to stop listening to society. When somebody tells you you shouldn't have to ask, they're telling you that you don't need to communicate your needs to your person. That's what that says to me.
Just driving division.
Yeah. I'm miserable in my relationship. And because I'm miserable in my relationship, let me tell you how to live yours.
Yeah.
So that we can just be miserable together. And then we can go to lunch and talk shit about our husbands. I'm good on that.
He grew up very blessed with a very kind mom who did everything for him until he joined the Air Force. I try to understand that he is learning how to maintain his parts of the household. I grew up with a young mom. She had me at 17 and was raised to do everything for myself. I knew I didn't want that in my marriage. Things got better, but we were still missing the intimacy because I felt like I'm a mother. I didn't want to remind him. I wanted him to know what he needs to be done and just do it. I wanted him to know what needs to be done and just do it. I'm going to say it, and this is going to hurt some feelings. That's a high horse thought process. You just said that you know that he grew up in a household with a mom who did everything for him. That has been his life.
I think it's also important to think about that. Like when you really think about that, there are facets of our life where I'm a fucking slob.
Right.
And there's facets of our life where I'm super organized because the shit that matters to me matters.
Right.
And the things that don't matter, don't matter. I'll wear the same shirt 2 days in a row. If I'm not doing anything other than sitting in the house and I'm not getting gross and sweaty, I'll wear that shirt a second day. And I'll wear pants 3 or 4 times before I wash them if I'm not doing anything that makes them dirty. So next to my bed is a giant fucking pile of clothes.
Yeah.
And when I get tired of looking at that pile of clothes and I'm like, all right, it's time to do laundry, I clean that pile up. Happens once every 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
If you were like, are you going to ever clean that pile up? And you were being like controlling over that? No, I'm not, because this is the way I choose to live my life. If this bothers you, we can adjust the bedroom so that you don't ever see that pile, because this is my existence. Don't expect me to change how I've lived 43 years of my life because you don't like it.
Right.
How about you accept that this is who I am as a person? This is the man you married and you love me.
Yeah.
And this is just one of my quirks.
Oh, well, I saw that during our sleepovers,
Right.
so I knew what I was getting into.
Yep. It's not mothering. It's
not.
acceptance.
Yeah.
And
I clean around that pile of clothes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm not going to disturb your system because I'm not going to know where I'm throwing the t-shirt that you're looking for 2 days from now.
Yep. I don't understand why that's a problem for people. I really don't. You have different standards. If it was a problem for him and he realized that like let's say his job was to make sure that the living room is dusted. And he's looking around and he's like, I mean, it could use it, but it's not bad. And you're like, oh my God, this place is disgusting. He sees it as not bad. You see it as disgusting. There's the problem.
Right.
You're expecting him to clean to your standards versus his.
Right.
Perception is reality. If I think the living room is not dirty, I'm not cleaning the fucking living room. Why would I clean something that's clean?
Right.
And if you're like, oh my God, this place is fucking filthy, and you're laying into me, and I'm like, it's not.
Yeah.
And you're making a big deal out of nothing. You're picking a fight for no fucking reason. That's how you view that. Of course there's going to be problems in your marriage.
Right. He literally cannot see what you see.
Right.
Now, if there's like empty water bottles and Coke cans and plates and empty chip bags sitting around,
It's a very different scenario.
very different scenario. When you say it first, I can say it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Back into the email?
Yep.
Over the last year, our second year of marriage, I tried to explain to my husband that I cannot have a full-time job and be the traditional housewife. I simply don't have the mental capacity. I would love to be a stay-at-home wife and have the traditional role, but we aren't at a place financially where that is possible yet.
Yet.
We have no kids yet, but we have 3 dogs. We came to the conclusion that the goal is for me to work part-time or not work at all one day. I love being a wife. I want to dive into my feminine. I trust my husband and know that he can take care of me. I simply haven't let him.
Ooh, that's a hell of a statement. Love the accountability in that.
Yeah.
Love that. And this isn't even the update.
Right. I've been letting my need to have control push us apart. I found an app that includes both of us and reminds us when to do chores. That seemed to help.
That's still control. You're still controlling him with a digital leash now. You have a shock collar in your pocket. That's what that is.
It's a solution, though.
I mean, it is a solution. It definitely works. If your dog is barking, it shuts the fuck up. But that's still control. It's just control at a distance now.
Why?
Okay. Remember the example I gave of the dirty living room?
Yes.
If my alert went off and said clean the living room, and I looked around the living room and was like, living room's clean, but the app's telling me I got to clean the living room anyway, so let me go clean the living room anyways. Like,
so let's elaborate on your definition of clean, right? Because, right, clean is different for everybody. Say you're looking at the living room and it just needs to be straightened up. Would you leave it that way and say it's clean, or would you straighten it up?
I would straighten it up. Straighten up the coffee table.
Right.
Throw the blanket over the back of the couch.
Right. Make it look nice.
Right. That's different, though. That's a once-over.
Right.
That's
okay.
not cleaning.
Well, that's some people's definition of cleaning.
No, that's not cleaning.
Well, just to clarify that.
Cleaning is starting with the fan.
Right.
We're dusting the fan. Then dusting everything from above to the ground. Then vacuuming the floor. Then mopping the floor. Making everything. And then tidying. Right?
Right.
There's a difference between a once-over and a clean.
Okay.
Once-over you shouldn't need a reminder for that. If you look at the coffee table and there's fucking paper all over it and crayons and markers, and you have a tray there that everything goes in and nothing's in the fucking tray and it's all over the table, you tidy up the table.
Okay.
You can do that while watching TV.
Right.
You don't have to get up.
So I don't know what it looks like working in the Air Force. I'm just going to assume this dude works 5 days a week, 12-hour days, hypothetical. And when he's home, he's working on shit at home, like fixing the house or cleaning up the yard. Like he is spending a good chunk of his day doing things. I think that ping reminder of go clean the living room. All right, I need to go do that. I'm working on what? I'm sanding wood right now, hypothetical. I can stop sand. The wood is not going to walk away from me. I can
Neither is
go
living
knock
room.
that out. I know. But if he's somebody who forgets things and needs the constant reminders, you are somebody who will stop what they are
Still
doing.
a digital leash.
I think it's a solution.
Okay. It's a solution,
It
but it is a
is.
digital leash.
Depending on how you use it. If it's an app that sends automated notifications.
Right.
You can also set a time for the notifications.
Yeah.
What?
It's one thing to set your Google Calendar to tell you what you have to do today.
Right.
It's another for you to add something into my calendar so that I have to do it. If I'm creating the alerts
Right.
to remind me, that's me reminding myself.
Right.
If it's Thursday and you want me to clean the bathroom at 3:00 in the afternoon and it's 2:30 and you're like, clean the bathroom 3 p.m.
Yeah.
and I wasn't planning on having to clean the bathroom and my phone dings and now I have a fucking chore to do.
Now that's a problem.
That's control.
That
That's
is definitely
not,
control.
Okay, it's not the same thing to me.
Well, there are apps out there where it's you guys select your chores
Mm-hmm.
and it's divided, and then you can select what day, when, and where.
Mm-hmm.
So there are versions where you can certainly have all of the control in that situation and dictate your own cleaning schedule as long as you get the reminder that it needs to be done.
It's not a problem either way.
Yeah.
I don't live in this situation, so I don't care. I'm just pointing out the fact that if you need an app to tell your husband what to do, you're still controlling him.
Okay.
I think a gentle reminder is a much more efficient way
Yeah.
because you're giving me the opportunity to fulfill a need in you.
Yeah. I would definitely prefer the gentle reminder.
Right. Love makes requests, not demands. And I see a ding, clean the bathroom as a demand.
It is. What if it was sent with a booty picture and a please?
It's a different. Well, I don't want a booty app from a booty photo from an app.
No. Like if I texted you or like you had the reminder, say I set the reminder in your phone, right? And it pinged and you were like, what the fuck? And then at exact same time, I sent a booty picture and said, please.
It changes things though because you're asking me to do something.
Okay. So that's different.
You're making a request.
Okay.
There's a difference between you need to clean the bathroom today.
Right.
That's a demand.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me out?
Yeah.
It's a request. When you have a man who loves you and wants to make you happy, those requests are going to get fulfilled. That's all there is to that.
Right.
It may take us a little while, but it'll get done. I don't know. There are lazy ass people out there who need
There
those
are.
fucking constant reminders.
The app seemed to help. I still have to remind him, not as often. I'm also learning to let go. I'm famous for trying to deep clean the house all in one day, then being burned out for a few days. I'm learning to prioritize and not panic clean.
It's good.
Our current struggle is intimacy still, sadly. I work 6 night shifts in 1 week, which are all 12 hours, and I'm off for a week. Often, the week I work, we barely see one another. Because I do majority of the household tasks like cooking, mopping, and cleaning the house can become quite unmanageable the week I work. Thankfully, he has been better at doing his work like caring for the lawn, cleaning the bathroom, taking care of the dishwasher, helping care for the dogs, and splitting the laundry 50-50. He works 6 to 4 Monday through Friday. We struggle having enough time together.
Y'all are busy.
Yeah. So he's also working 12-hour shifts.
6 to 4.
Yeah. No, 10-hour shifts. Okay. I typically stay kind of off night shift when I'm off. What? We struggle having enough time together. I typically stay kind of on night shift when I'm off as well.
Yeah, so she sleeps during the daytime. They don't see each other. So, of course, there's an issue with intimacy. You guys aren't.
Right.
You're not doing anything. You're existing together. That's not a relationship.
Right.
That is the definition of the roommate phase.
It is. Instead of waking up at 3 p.m. and working until 8 a.m., I wake up at 12 and stay up until maybe 3 a.m. depending. I try to do all my housework when he is at work or sleeping. The part where we get tripped up is he often needs to decompress after work. He often plays video games for hours each night.
That sounds like an excuse.
I agree because... Okay, yeah, hang on. I need to process that. Because you work night shift. So if he's playing video games when he gets off of work, what time does she leave for her night shift? At 3 p.m. He works until 4, so you're gone by the time he gets home from work. I can see why immediately playing video games is a decompression for him those days that you're there. The week that you're off, though, that man needs to put those games away until you either go to bed or you go off and do your separate thing and spend quality time together.
There's a routine that's been established here.
Yeah.
Right? So that routine is continuing even when she's off of work.
So it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Why was that not a discussion when the shifts changed? That immediately, like, I would have come to you and said, okay, look, we've been doing this for a month. I'm recognizing that we really don't have any time together. How can we carve out time for us? Because I am lacking and I'm empty. I need a recharge. You're my battery. Don't ignore me.
I would put a limit on how much video game time is spent when you're home.
Right. You would do that out of your own fruition.
I wouldn't play video games.
So whatever your decompression time is.
I would spend a little bit of time, 30 minutes showering, getting changed, and then just kind of chilling on the couch trying to get my wits about. Actually, that's a lie. If we had that situation and I knew I had specific things that needed to get done, I would come home and before I showered and got ready, I would just do all of my chores. Mm-hmm. And then I would jump in the shower, decompress in the shower, and like get a little bit of relaxation on the couch as my decompression from work dad or work man into dad or husband or whatever. And then I would worry about my evening. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't play video games when you're home because I don't get to see you.
Right.
I would utilize that time for us. Video games are fun. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that there's a whole lot of shit that men do that they love as their hobbies, but
Don't you love your woman?
I would still prioritize my family over those things.
Yeah.
I will, in the middle of working, when the kids come home, stop what I'm doing and ride my bike with the kids. Mm-hmm. I will take them on their quads. I will spend that family time because I can't get that time back. Mm-hmm. That editing can happen after they go to bed. The video games can happen after they go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I can work my schedule around my family to still do the things that need to get done and the things that I want to get done, but you have to prioritize the things that matter the most. Having an intimate, loving relationship matters the most. Mm-hmm. So.
Yep. Every night this week. So with my ankle injury, when I do too much, I can tell I'm doing too much and I need to like back off or I'm going to hurt myself more. And like you said before, I feel like the house is not up to par. This week has been busy as shit though. So
we have not had a single down day this week.
No, we haven't. So after I pick up the kids and come home, I have the option to either start cleaning or we're going outside and we're playing Mommy Monster. Like I'm about to devour these children in a soup that I'm brewing. And we run around and we play for 45 minutes and then you come outside and we do the family thing doing whatever we're doing. I agree. That is definitely top priority. I can clean the kitchen after the kids are in bed.
Yep.
They're jumping in the shower. Dope. I have 30 minutes. I can sweep and vacuum real quick.
Priorities.
Yep.
You give attention to the things that matter the most to you in your life. And if video games means more to you than your person, that's really what you're telling them by playing video games when you should be spending time with them.
Yeah. Into the email?
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I know what you're going to say. He is usually pretty good. I've gotten more understanding over the years. My husband has a lot of pent-up anger for various reasons that he has no way to express, so he plays video games. He would like therapy, but due to the military, if he sees that kind of help, it will prevent him from being able to do his job fully. I did a garden interview with, I believe her name was Taylor. She was in the Navy, and I did not know that was a thing. Absolutely blew my mind when she said when I finally broke down and said that I needed mental help, they put me like offshore guarding for a year. I was like, holy shit. Like you would think that the military would want the best, healthy, clear minds in these roles to make these judgments and whatnot.
They do. That's why they put you offshore doing guard duty.
Right.
If you're having mental health issues. The problem is people don't want to lose their career or not level up, and they do so in risk of their mental health. That's a them problem, not an Army problem. You want the best of the best to do their job.
Yeah.
And if you're having mental issues and you can't level up in your career because of it, you need to take some time off and get your mental health in order. That's not the military's problem. That's a you problem. She's wrong, though, because she said, Chris, I know what you're going to say. I actually didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
Ha, you didn't know.
He is in no way violent towards me or anyone. He does yell at the games, but if I ever step in or say something, he usually stops unless he's had a particularly hard day. Along with the video games, he will stop when I talk to him or ask for help, and if he doesn't, he will give me a time frame when he can pause. While he games, we'll chat about our day or I'll read.
All healthy.
Yeah, all of that's dope. That is fantastic to hear. You know what? He should look into therapy on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation to your man. He needs to look at therapists on YouTube and ingest everything he can, even if he thinks it might not help him. He is very much a person who feels loved when we are simply in the same room together, where I prefer more active participation. So we compromise. We have dinner together every night. We usually watch a show together while we eat. We have at least one date a month and try our best to plan trips for just us two at least twice a year if we can. Where we struggle is time together when I work. It feels like every other week. I work every other week. We barely see each other adding to this roommate phase.
Of course, because you're both working.
Right.
It's normal life shit.
That is... So perspective, you're looking at this as a downside.
Yeah.
You have 1 week to miss each other. That's going to make the time that you guys spend together so much more sweeter. When I'm away from you, I miss you.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks missing you, but it's also really dope missing you because when I get back, it's going to be so much more. There's going to be a newer energy to exchange between us because we haven't been sitting stagnant all day. We struggle with how to prioritize our time. Please help. I usually was up at 4 p.m. and he usually gets home from work then. He typically makes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He eats them religiously every single day while I cook dinner. Okay, so...
You make that sandwich for him before he gets home.
I would do that. Make the sandwich. Also, this is a pattern. Now he has something else that he routinely does every single day. So this tells me that he is somebody who needs the gentle reminders.
He's military. It's routine.
He needs the gentle reminders.
Yeah. Everything is routine in the military. You have such structure. Everything is structure.
Yeah. We'll sometimes eat dinner together and watch a show, or he'll go right to the bedroom because he's exhausted. I'll get ready for work and leave. By the time I'm home from work, he's at work for the day. How can we make more time together? Please give us any advice possible. I've been listening to your podcast while driving, cooking, and cleaning. It has helped immensely with my focus, my productivity, and my happiness. It feels like I'm having a chat with friends. It has given me more appreciation for my husband, and I can more easily recognize how he is a gentleman and how I can be a better wife. I am often a very logical thinker and can be critical and harsh with my words. He has recently agreed to take on the task of solely managing our finances. He is much better with it than I am, and we are both excited for that. Ooh, make that 3 of us because I'm also excited for that. How dope. I would have never thought to do that without hearing you two talk about it. I really hope it'll take some mental load off of me. It will. I don't even think about finances anymore. Hey, babe, can I have $500? It's either, yeah, let me transfer it, or give me a week.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. I'm going to go work on my plants now. I'm going to go sit in my apothecary closet and look at all my jars. Because of your podcast, I have become closer with my husband, and our intimacy is slowly getting better. He has become more understanding when I'm tapped out and helps me feel that I am not obligated to fulfill his sexual needs. For a long time since I felt like his mom, it felt like a chore I had to do, not something I enjoy. Now I want to please him and have that form of connection more often because of the changes that we implemented thanks to you two. That's crazy to hear.
It's good to hear.
I can now recognize qualities in my husband that are similar to Chris and see that my husband is a gentleman and I should let him lead. I used to be terrified that if I'm not in control of everything, it will fall apart. And now I'm letting go. And now that I'm letting go, I see the leader my husband is. Peaches, I want to say thank you for who you are as a person. For a long time, I have thought that I needed to be a strong, independent woman that doesn't need a man. I can do it on my own, but I've learned that I don't want to. Oh, it's so exhausting on your own.
I hate that statement so much.
I can do it on my own.
No, I'm a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. I hate that more than the ick.
That used to be my anthem. Like, yeah.
And how did it work out for you?
It didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It did not. I changed up my thought process. I started juggling some different things, and I noticed it's a lot easier to juggle like a softball versus a chainsaw. Yep. I've often been made fun of for being a soft soul, submissive, and my kindness is often seen as weakness and used against me in different areas of my life. I felt guilty for being kind and submissive. Seeing someone who values what I value has made me more confident and has made my husband more confident. Really?
Societal pressures are a motherfucker.
They really are.
And it's because we allow it to happen. It's so rare when something doesn't feel right to us for us to go, this doesn't feel right, and like really not follow along. Mm-hmm. You look at the COVID thing, for example, the amount of people that just went along with that shit, even though they were like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
They did, because that's what the society was saying you had to do. Like, you get along to get along, even though you don't agree with it.
Yeah. Does me being confident make you feel more confident?
What do you mean?
I don't know. She said that her being more confident has made her husband feel more confident. And I was just wondering if that was a thing.
Well, I mean, so that depends on how she's more confident. Is she more confident in him? Mm-hmm. Because you believe in him, he makes me feel invincible.
Really?
Yeah. Totally different thing, though. You being confident in you doesn't make me confident in me. That's a you thing. But like, when you're there hyping me up and pushing me on to do shit, like, it's go time.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that aspect, that's true.
I saw that yesterday when I said
Full
fucking send it, babe.
Yeah. Yep.
we went through that puddle, came out the other side soaked.
And laughing our
like,
ass off.
Yeah, and I was like, that was a full send, babe. And our son came running up and he was like, you did it. And we were all wet. And he was like, yeah. Instead of just riding his four-wheeler over.
He jumped off and ran to us.
He was so stoked.
Yeah.
Even though kids can be dicks, they are like the biggest hype man.
They can be.
Last night, I was putting the kids to bed and our daughter looked at me and she was like, you're the best mommy. And I was like, oh. And she was like, no, really. And you're so beautiful. And I was like, stop. Oh, she's so kind. Our son does that a lot too. You're the best mommy ever. And I was like, me? Really? You should tell Pops that we want to get that on a cup. He has been taking more of a leading role, and I've been able to start letting go of who my mom wanted me to be and become more comfortable with who I am and who I want to be.
There you go.
In addition, that confidence has allowed me to initiate intimate moments with my husband, which I rarely had in the past.
Right, because you're not holding on to an expectation that someone else has of you. Mm-hmm. If I was worried about what other people thought of me and us, we wouldn't dance in public.
No.
I wouldn't fucking dance with you in the van where everybody could see it. I would never flirt with you in public. We wouldn't do the podcast and be flirty the way that we are on the podcast because people don't need to see that.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what people think about us. I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I'm over here living my best life. You can judge and be salty about that all you fucking want. I'm happy. Mm-hmm. Sucks to suck, nerd. I don't know what to tell you.
I want to blow another raspberry.
Yeah.
I can feel us leaving the roommate phase thanks to you two. We struggle with balancing our time together, but now we have a goal to work towards. He is working to have a change in career and potentially become an Air Force lawyer. Oh, that was so difficult. So many R's in that. Why did you laugh?
Because I know your RW thing.
It's so difficult. Hopefully, a year from now, we will both be working day jobs with me working part-time and getting ready to plan a family. By no means is our marriage perfect, but time spent and intimacy have been our biggest struggle. I look forward to hearing your advice. Again, I thank you both deeply, and I will continue to listen and support. Whether you two read this or reply, I'm so very grateful that I found you both on TikTok.
Let's do the update.
Update, January 29th.
Oh, wow. Like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that, found it entertaining, funny, or even learned something you didn't know before, share it. And if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? And for those of you who want to support us, get access to exclusive content and live streams, we do have a Patreon. All the links are in the description.